So look, for those who don't know what's going on, 2 days ago, me and Tom was on the show. Dave wasn't here. This is the one episode. Dave was like, I wish I was in there. As y'all know, Dave is a Miami Heat fan. And I made a comment. We had a comment about a topic about Julius Randle. Is Julius Randle underrated? And I'm gonna play the clip of what I said. That made the comment section go crazy. So I think Julius Randle and Jimmy Butler are in the same category. All right, Jimmy Butler and Julius Randle. The reason why I said that him and Jimmy Butler are in the same category, the difference between those two players, playoff success. There you go. All right. So look, how we gonna do this, y'all? I'm gonna lay it out what I meant. All right. I'm gonna lay it out what I meant, and then Dave, we're gonna have since I know we went did this in the chat. Obviously, we bring it to the show, and we haven't heard from you yet, so we're gonna have you kick it off. All right. So here's the deal. I said that Julius Randle today is what Jimmy Butler was before Miami Heat. Underrated, wasn't considered a superstar, none of that stuff. And Julius Randle is being disrespected, or he's underrated, quote unquote, is because he has no playoff success. He would play terrible in the playoffs. And what separates Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler's career, in my opinion, took off because of his playoff success. In the regular season, you can kind of say that they're kind of the same. All
So
right.
can I say something before you, Dave, start real quick?
Go ahead.
Because what you just said, I agree with, but I'm gonna say where I disagree with after Dave.
Okay. All right. I reiterated that like 50 times in the chat. All right. Go ahead, Dave.
So I exactly what Carl just said. I agree as well. Regular season, I get it. I get what your premise was. However, they are not on the same category to me.
Okay.
Reason why I say this. Now, I remember you brought up the D Rose thing. Where you said that it was that he had Derrick Rose. This was after Derrick Rose messed up his knee. Derrick Rose wasn't the same player after that. So I get that. And also, he was playing a lot of minutes, even though he wasn't getting the ball with Tibbs. So he was averaging about 40 minutes a game with Tibbs. Wasn't touching the ball that much. He was more so just out there to be the defender on their best player. That's also what separates him and Julius Randle. Julius Randle is not known to be a defender. Yes, he's a rebounder. I get that. But he's not a defender.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler is a far better defender than Julius Randle is. Even at this point. What he was before is a better defender than what Randle is now in his career. So that's another one. Now, when it comes to play, I understand that I'm not even talking about playoff success. I'm talking about what he's done with his team while he was there. So, of course, he went to the playoffs with the Chicago Bulls, but people forget that when he went to Minnesota, even though they had those players, they have only gone to the playoffs twice since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
That was the year that Jimmy got there in 2017, 2018. He helped lead them to the playoffs that season. Of course, they lost in the first round to the Rockets 4-1. I understand that. But what happened after that? They didn't go to the playoffs again until last season. Now, to me, if that doesn't speak volumes about Jimmy Butler, then I don't know what does. And we're talking about before Miami, so I'm not mentioning nothing about Miami. He was a far better player then. Well, I'm not going to say far better, but he was a better player than what Julius Randle is now. When Julius Randle first went to the Knicks, they were the 12th seed. They did not go to the playoffs the first year. And you can say that Jimmy had better players in Minnesota, but those same players were there before he got there, and they couldn't make it to the playoffs. And his accolades, for one, you didn't mention accolades. You didn't mention the specific of the accolades that you said, and that's why I disagree as well, because those defensive teams proved that Jimmy Butler was a better player because he plays both sides of the ball. That's
The
not
question is not who the better player. I said they're on the same tier.
I don't
That's where I disagree with, and that's
I
why.
don't
Okay.
think they're on the same
Okay.
tier
So you
because
saying
he's
better
better.
player? I said same tier.
I don't think they were on the same tier because I think Jimmy Butler was
Ooh.
better.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
is it me or Vaughn?
You.
All right, cool. All right, so actually, I want to take back what I just said. I kind of agree with what you were saying. I think that Jimmy Butler before Miami was underrated, yes. But the reason why I won't fully go Randle is because Randle came in as a 7th overall pick, and even before that, at Kentucky, I think he was the number 1 or top 5, top 10. It was in either 1 through 10. Can't remember. It was 2013. Sorry, y'all. And I really don't pay attention to high school rankings. But I know he was a highly recruited guy coming in Kentucky.
Yep.
So the things he's doing now was expected way earlier in his career, 1. 2, I'm going to read off some numbers from Randle. Randle, because Tomo said excluding the Laker years, Randle at New Orleans, I wrote it down, 21.4 with the Pelicans, 19.5 his first year with the Knicks, and it was the 12th seed. So it's not like the Knicks got Randle and he instantly changed things in New York. That's not true. Then he averaged 24.1 with the Knicks. Playoffs, 5th seed, boom. He drops again to 20.1 with the Knicks. No playoffs. And now he's currently at 25.5. My reason for reading these numbers off is because I think we're overreacting to Randle having a great year. Randle for sure is having a great year. Will not take that away from him. But he hasn't consistently shown he can continue to do this. He's shown that the next year is going to drop again. If we go by patterns, his numbers are going to drop. He's not a consistent guy like Jimmy. Jimmy has shown to consistently average 20.9, 23.9, 22.2, 21.3, and then 18.2 in Philly behind Embiid. So he's
Okay.
consistently shown he can do this in this league, while Randle has not consistently shown that he can do this. He's shown that he'll have a good year, and then next year he's going to flop. And then next year he's going to bring it back up, and then next year he's going to drop. So to me, I think we're overreacting because Randle's having a great year. I mean, kudos to bruh. No, we did not have a great year last year. So kudos to bruh.
Jimmy standards. But go ahead.
No, and again, another point.
20 and 10 and 5.
No,
That's not Jimmy standards.
No, it's not.
All right, go ahead.
Because Jimmy, when he had his team, averaged 23.9, and this was before the rule that instituted the shot clock, where you can get an offensive rebound and it only goes to 14 instead of resetting back to 24. So it gives the game more possessions. That was instituted in 2018. So there's more possessions in today's game than it was when Jimmy was starting his All-NBA. His All-NBA 23.9 points per game year. So like I said, I agree somewhat with that premise. I don't agree with the same tier because he has the but we're not discussing that, Jamo. We're talking about the player itself.
Focus on us. Focus on us.
Yeah. But yeah. In conclusion, the main reason why I don't think they're the same tier is because Julius Randle hasn't consistently shown he can do this.
Javon, you want to go? You want to wait?
So I can go. I can
Go
go.
ahead.
Now, I'm going to first step on here and say, K-State, baby. Let's get it. 50 push-ups. I need them. Let's go, Magic. Good dub against them Knicks. Sorry, Randall. I had to do
Got a
that.
mid-team like North Carolina. Continue.
But check this out. Now, you say Randall shown that he has consistently been able to do this, or he's been a high recruit, so he's a guy that, you expect this from him. What happened when he first got into the league? Did he not come to the Lakers when they were a mess? Did he not get a fair shot? All of them guys. That's all those guys that got drafted. I'm hip.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram career started late because of that. Lonzo Ball career started late because of that. Kyle Kuzma career, it started a little early because they kept him. But when he left, you saw what happened. So you can't take that away from him. Even when he got to the Pelicans, AD was there. But AD was tripping. It was they traded for AD. However, they had Drew Holiday, and the team wasn't really that good. However, Julius Randle was doing his thing. First year by himself, he averaged
21.
over 20. Exactly. And then when you look at you talking about scoring numbers, Julius Randle, his 2 highest years are higher than Jimmy Butler's highest year. His highest year is 23.9. Julius Randle had 24.5, I believe, and now it's 25.5. So he's eclipsed Jimmy Butler twice. His best year. You bring up the possessions. However, Jimmy Butler's playing the same league Julius Randle's playing now. How come his numbers didn't increase when the possessions increased? So
I
another
want to see
thing,
that.
Julius Randle been in the league for 13 years. No, I'm sorry. Jimmy Butler been in the league for 13 years. Julius Randle been in the league for 9 years. 1 year he only played one game. And he still has 11,075 points to Jimmy Butler's 13,572. So he's right there behind Jimmy Butler. Within 2 years he can pass him. Or 3 years he can pass him. So as far as tiers, Jimmy Butler is not in the KD level. He's not up there with those guys. He's under those guys. And he's not even, I don't even think he's on the level of a Devin Booker, if you ask me. I don't even think he's on that level. I think he's a tier under that because he's not a guy that can consistently take over the game offensively. He shows you he can do it in spurts. You have playoff Jimmy, but he can't even sustain that in the playoffs. He has a couple of games and then he runs out. So, like Joe said, the only reason why, I mean, you give him those accolades, first team, all defense, he is a better player because he plays on both ends. However, when you speak on tier, he's on the same tier as Randle because offensively, Randle is a better player. Randle shoots the ball at a higher clip from three than him. He's more of a matchup nightmare because he's 6'10" and is a man child. He has more posterizing highlights. His moves are better than Jimmy Butler, so he's more polarizing. He's more of a guy that a superstar when you watch them play rather than a Jimmy Butler. So as far as tiers, they're both on the same tier because neither one of them are on that high level to the point where they consistently shown that they can be a guy that can consistently carry a team and put up them high numbers and win. So they're both on the same tier.
Can I address the J-Mo comment before you go, Joe? The
Which
only
one?
reason why I brought up the 12 seed is because Tomo on the show Tuesday said that as soon as Julius Randle got there, he changed things for the Knicks. And I was just saying that's incorrect because the first year he got there, it was still a 12 seed. That's the only reason why I brought that up.
All right. So look. You're not making sense, man. I'm sorry. All right, look, let me say this first. First of all, Carr, your whole soliloquy, your whole statement, I'm confused. Because you saying that Jimmy Butler is consistent in the regular season. Where is he consistent at in the regular season up until Miami? He's not.
I can read
He's
them
just
numbers.
like Randle. And you want to look at Jimmy Butler, you said Jimmy Butler played way more. Javon had a good point I was going to put. As the possessions grow, why is his best years in the past? His best year was in Chicago.
That's true.
That was 3 teams ago. Julius Randle, right? So look, I look at Jimmy Butler. His 2 third team All-NBAs, which Randle made second team, by the way, who might make second team this year also.
Maybe.
His 3 is 2 third team NBA. He only made it twice before Miami. One time he's with Chicago. They were the 8th seed. David talked about that. 8th seed. The second time he had Karl Anthony Towns, who's also an All-NBA player. Y'all don't mention that. Who was also an 8th seed. But I'm talking about Karl.
I did.
My bad. Julius Randle, first time going to the Knicks, second year going to the Knicks, became second team All-NBA, allowed him to a home court advantage 4th seed with R.J. Barrett as his second best player. A rookie.
Who averaged 18, by the way.
Okay, what Carl?
No, I'm just saying because you threw D on the show Tuesday, you threw D Wade in there who averaged 18. So I'm just saying.
We're talking about a vet D Rose. We're talking about a vet D Rose who's fresh on the MVP season and a rookie RJ Barrett. Come on, bro.
Hold on. RJ Barrett wasn't a rookie. He wasn't a rookie. It was his second year.
Was it his second year?
And D Rose was there. I think D Rose, if he didn't win 6 man
D Rose was there. D Rose
but
was
Randle
there.
was that guy.
No, that's true.
Yeah, D Rose was there, but you're talking about I'm talking about Cardi, an all NBA player that Jimmy Butler played with, and they were still an 8th seed. And don't give me that East and West stuff, because as a best player, first of all, Jimmy Butler with Chicago is basically Luol Deng. That's how he was basically Luol Deng. For real, with Chicago. He's like on Luol Deng kind of level. Now, he is better than Luol Deng But that's how I look at it. Now look, tiers. I'm gonna get you right here, Carl and David. I went back to that season when he's with Minnesota, right? I mean, with 76, as a matter of fact. That was the last year before he went to Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at these players right here. Now, James Harden, now on this level. Paul George, not the same tier. Giannis wasn't the same tier. Joel Embiid, no. Steph, no. Devin Booker, no. Kawhi, no. Dame, no. Bradley Beal at the time, no. Blake Griffin at the time, first year in Detroit, no. Even DeRozan, when he got traded to the Spurs, that year he wasn't on his level. Jimmy Butler was more of a Zach LaVine level. He was more of a Jrue Holiday level, and stuff like that. And that's where he wasn't back then.
Jrue Holiday.
Yes,
Jrue
Holiday.
I'm not disrespecting Jrue Holiday. One, I'm not disrespecting Jrue Holiday. But two, Zach LaVine is a higher tier to me than Julius Randle.
I'm not talking about Zach LaVine today. I'm talking about Zach LaVine then. No, matter of fact, Zach LaVine is probably a lower tier than him. But Zach LaVine numbers were better than Jimmy Butler's. But Carl, me ask you this: Blake Griffin with Detroit at the time.
He put us on his back and took us to the playoffs. We had a 50-point game against Philly. He was tough.
Who was the higher tier?
What was that? 2018, 2019?
Blake or Jimmy Butler at the time?
That's 2018, 2019, right?
Yeah, when Jimmy Butler was Philly.
Yeah, and he was the second option behind Embiid, while Blake was the first option with us.
Okay, who's the third option? Ben Simmons who don't shoot? Like, come on, bro. I mean, Tobias Harris turned to the second option when he first got there. Think about it. Philly left Jimmy Butler for Tobias Harris. People were comparing those two guys, Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. Was that a good?
But come on, bro. We all know that's not a comparison.
No, we know, but it's not like he was a 100 tiers higher than. We know Jimmy Butler was a better player, but he wasn't 100 tiers higher than Tobias Harris. That's my point. He was getting compared to Tobias Harris at the time. When he left and went to Miami, and he said he wanted to run his own team, people questioned that, like, bro, like, you can't run your own team. People weren't saying that. Now he proved out his wrong in Miami, but that was the consensus. That was the consensus.
Our point, I'm gonna say this. Our point is, yes, people probably were questioning that, but we weren't the people.
That's
Blake Griffin or Jimmy Butler, higher tier. You never asked my question. Blake Griffin or Jimmy Butler?
That's what I'm saying. It's hard because Blake was obviously the number one guy on the Pistons, and we stunk, and he put us on his back. Wow, Jimmy Butler had another guy, but he still averaged 19 as the second option.
Jimmy Butler or Blake Griffin?
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. I the only just said it. Bro, now you're just talking.
Jimmy Butler.
Look, David. Higher tier, David. Blake Griffin or Jimmy Butler?
I'm gonna get at the Blake. I'm gonna be honest.
Blake Griffin. Would y'all say that Julius Randle right now is on the same tier as what Blake Griffin was when he was with Detroit?
No.
Explain why.
He just not. Blake Griffin didn't have the players that Julius Randle has right now.
No, 2 years ago. Go about 2 years ago. And don't forget, Blake was an 8th seed.
2 years ago.
He didn't walk in there as a home court advantage type guy.
It's like 4.
Huh?
They're talking about
like 4.
Julius.
Trying to use Randle.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, wait, why you go back 2 years ago for Julius Randle? This is best season.
Yeah.
That's why I'm comparing Julius Randle today, which is better than 2 years ago, to Jimmy Butler when he walked into Miami. They on the same tier, and that's why I asked you on the chat card. I said, what player would you put between them? I'm naming all these players. Bradley Beal at the time was a higher tier than Jimmy Butler.
I wanted to rebuke that, but I want to try to let you finish. Y'all know when Jimmy Butler averaged 23.9, he averaged more than Paul George, Bradley Beal, I think Blake Griffin, and I think he was like maybe a notch below Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are what we call scores, right? But he averaged more than them.
How many games Paul George played? That's right after his injury, right?
Was it? I don't think so.
Yeah, that was after. I think he went to OKC the year after that.
I think that was the summer before.
The summer before OKC?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he got the injury when he was in Indiana, correct?
He got the injury in Indiana.
Yeah, but that was the injury. That was USA. That happened during Team USA in the summer.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so I'm saying, like, did that injury happen before that season with Philly?
That's what I'm saying. I think the injury happened after the season. I think the season was before, and then the injury happened.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Paul George. All right, but I still had Paul George in higher tier than Jimmy Butler back then. You did not?
I don't think so. I didn't.
Corey George
I'm
actually
telling you,
led his team to
I'm
Eastern
telling you,
Conference
I'm
Finals
a
before
guy
that.
who argued that Jimmy Butler was a superstar. So it's kind of hard for me because I
I-
was one of those guys that argued he was a superstar. And to go back to Vaughn's point, I said I agree that his game ain't flashy. He's not going to dunk on you. He's not going to cross you, step back, pull something. He's not going to hit multiple threes. He's not going to do none of that. But he's still going to give you 20 to 30 points in one game. That's average. Well, I mean, he will average 20, but I'm saying he's
So
not
is
going to average
Randall.
30. That's the whole premise behind that.
So is
But he can
Randall.
still give you buckets without being flashy, without me, with you knowing he can't shoot threes like that, so sag off, or he not going to give you a move. So to me, it just shows how great of a scorer he is, knowing all these handicaps.
And
Carl.
Jimmy Butler's not the kind of player to take over to he's not the player to focus solely on scoring. He's more so looking for his team. He's always been that kind of player. He's not flat like Carl said, he's not a flashy player. So when it comes to scoring, Julius Randle might be a better scorer, but overall in the same tier, I'm just not gonna believe that.
But what tier
Because
is? Give me an example of a player in Randall's tier, and give me an example of a player in Jimmy Butler's tier at the
All right,
time.
so but it's hard because again, Randall ain't consistently doing this. This is his
So
best. No,
No,
this
it's
is
Jimmy
his
not,
Butler
best
Carl.
doing it?
year.
No,
This
it's
is
not, Carl. His second year was his best year. He averaged 24, 6, and
he's
10.
averaging 25 this year.
25, 4, and 10. He averaged
Yeah,
6
this is
assists,
his
though,
best year.
No, we talking about
in
Butler, right,
points.
Javon?
No, I'm
No, he's
talking
talking about
about
Julius Randle.
No, he's talking
Oh,
about
Randall
Randall.
averaged
Okay. Oh,
1
second year with
point
the
less.
Knicks.
1 point less, but he had 2 more assists, and he had the same amount of rebounds. So 2 more assists equals more than 1 point. That's what I'm saying. So he had a better year that year, and he put everybody on notice who he was. This year, a lot of people harking to Brunson and things like that. But that year was the year, because the first year, like you said, he was 12th seed. Then he bounced back the next year and put on that performance.
Oh,
Still
well, I
averaged
stand
19 and a
corrected,
half and
Mark.
9 and
My
a half
bad. I was
rebounds.
wrong. Mark just said the injury was 14, 15.
No, I wasn't tripping. But look, Carl, you keep saying he inconsistent, and he averaged when he left LA 21 and 8. Then he went 19 and 9. Then he went 24 and 10. Then 20 and 10. Then 25 and 10. Where's the
But
inconsistency at?
those are big jumps, Joe.
But
You
it's
dropping
still
4 or 5
it's
points a
around Jimmy
season.
Butler's range.
No, it's not.
So just because Jimmy Butler's consistently doing 20 a game, he's better than Randall, who's jumping from 25 to 19 to 22
Yeah,
to
that's
21.
Joe. That's showing
He had 1 year
inconsistency.
that's less than 20. 1 year since leaving LA, and that was at 19.5 points a game. Jimmy Butler is a consistent 20 point per game scorer. So just because he consistently being average, he's a higher tier than Julius
No,
Randle.
that's my point is he's not consistently do it.
And then also, Carl,
If he
my
can
bad,
consistently average 23 to 25 points a game, then I won't overreact to this. But he's not doing that. He's making jumps. He's jumping from 19 to 24 to 20
okay, Carl.
to
And
25.
also, the question is now who have a better career. So I don't know why we're talking about consistency. Julius Randle today, because SGA, this is why I was trying to ask you to chat. SGA, what did he do last year? Did anybody put him in All NBA and any type of high tier last year? No, he has no accolades, no All NBAs, no scoring titles, no nothing. But you put SGA in the high tier right now, won't you?
Today, yes, but you said Knicks Julius Randle is the same as
No, I
same
did not.
tier.
I said Julius Randle today. I clearly said that. Julius Randle today.
So then why we talk? So why did Tomo bring up the fact that he changed life in New York?
Because
that's
He
what we brought
did.
up.
He did. His second year, he balled out and had him
But
in
if
the
we're not
playoffs.
talking about none
That's
of that
changing
prior
life.
to this year, then why did he bring it up? Is my point.
No,
because you brought the
see,
fact that he changed life in Minnesota.
No, but that was because No, I'm saying the stuff prior to this year I brought up because Tomo said he changed his life in New York, and you agreed and said that was a good point. But none of that
Because
should
you brought
matter if we're
Minnesota.
talking about Randall today.
You
this
brought
what
up
I'll say.
Minnesota. Go ahead, Juan.
This is what I'll say. I think he a tier higher than Jimmy Butler was back then. And I'm not talking about accolades and all this and that. Jimmy Butler was a defender, so that's where he mainly got his accolades from. It wasn't really from him scoring or leading a team or nothing like that, really. He was an Iron Man and he balled out. And yeah. However, I see Randall more as a guy that's leading his team. He's putting his team on his back. Jimmy Butler is more of a Robin guy rather than a Batman. I can
I
see
agree.
he
Before
flourishes.
Dave.
Yeah, I'm talking about in Chicago because we're talking 9
Well, D
years.
Rose was there, so of course, I mean, I get that. That's what
But
D
I'm just
Rose was
saying,
there.
Hey, it is.
The leader was
Everywhere
already
he went.
established when he got there. He got drafted,
Even
and
in
he
Minnesota,
was the last pick in the second round.
Wait,
but
time
even in
out.
Minnesota,
Are
he
we?
wasn't. He was the best, but people was like, Towns really the most talented guy on that team.
Yeah,
No,
he
Jimmy
was
Towns was
talented
the
Butler.
guy,
best.
but Jimmy Butler was
But
clearly the leader.
Still, cause you
talking
a leader,
about
man.
leader, bro. We're talking about who's the better
Better
player. Who's on?
player. Tier.
See,
We
that's
talking
what
tier.
y'all giving Jimmy Butler a huge leap because of this leadership thing. He's a great leader.
That
He's a great
but that counts.
tangible guy.
That
We're
counts.
talking,
That
but
counts
we're
as far as
talking
tiers,
tiers.
though.
We're talking tiers, though.
Leadership doesn't count in
Tiers.
tiers.
No, it does count. KD's not a leader though, but he's in a higher tier than Jimmy Butler.
Exactly.
It's
Good
just
point,
But
John.
that's because the talent is just way different.
Yeah.
Okay, KD and Giannis in the
Randle
same
and
tier, but yet Giannis is a better leader. But go ahead, John.
Jimmy Butler's talent isn't on the same level with Julius Randle. That's what y'all not understanding. Y'all think they're the same on talent wise. They are not. Julius Randle is more of a matchup problem than Jimmy Butler on the offensive end. He dribbles the ball better. He shoots the ball better. He has better post moves. He's stronger. He finishes better. Like Jimmy Butler is a solid player though. But as far as polarizing, Julius Randle would be that guy before Jimmy Butler. Like I said,
I don't
he's
think we're
4 years
arguing.
ahead of
No, we
him.
definitely not
I don't
arguing
think we're
against that.
arguing polarizing or block party. We're not arguing that.
Tier though, that's a tier though, Dave.
Nah.
These guys like Ja Morant, Steph Curry, KD, these guys are blockbuster, top tier. Those are the best of the best. Jimmy Butler can't reach that because he doesn't have that in his game. Julius Randle has that in his game. He just doesn't have the playoff success yet and all that, like Joe said. But that's why I think he's on a higher tier than Jimmy Butler was in Chicago, because in Chicago he didn't display that he can be a polarizing top tier guy like Julius Randle has.
Can I interject real quick? So
Sure.
if we talking about Julius Randle putting the team on his back this year, his running mate average is 23.8, which is Jalen Brunson. RJ Barrett averages 19.9. Emmanuel quickly averages 13.6. And Josh Hart, who they traded for before they traded for, the whole thing in New York wasn't even working. Let's not forget that. Before Josh Hart trade, the New York Knicks weren't as good as they are now. It's averaging 11.2. But again, the narrative switched once Josh Hart got there. Remember, everybody was trying to say, oh, the Knicks are undefeated since they got Josh Hart.
Yep.
It wasn't because of Julius Randle. I'm sorry. They were actually looking bad. He was balling, but they weren't looking as good as they were supposed to look. They was actually looking like a disappointment.
Okay, don't say it wasn't because you was Randle, because since the new year, before Brunson got his injury, since the calendar year, him and Brunson were the two highest scoring duos in the NBA. That had a lot to do with it. Now
Randle hasn't missed a game.
Now Josh Hart is a key piece. I give you that, but don't say it wasn't because of Randle.
No,
Randle
what I'm saying is he's not putting the team on his back. He has help.
No,
everybody has help.
I don't think they were saying he's putting on his back.
I think Jerome brought that up for 2 years ago.
I'm bringing that up as far as being the best player on your team, carrying them. Like Tyler Hero is more of the scorer than Jimmy Butler is really.
That's true.
Team. Like that's what I'm saying. Now they got Brunson this year,
but probably not this year.
It's clearly not this year. It's clearly not this year.
Last year he was y'all scorer.
Y'all keep talking about this year. We're talking about
that's
Jimmy
what Joe
Butler.
said.
Joe just said that. We just talking about what Joe just said. We're not talking about what you just said.
I'm saying y'all saying this year because like y'all keep thinking about Jimmy Butler now. We're talking about Jimmy Butler before he got.
We know that. We know
that Jimmy Butler never displayed that he can carry a team, and y'all can't sit here and tell us that he has.
Again, I literally argued. I told. Y'all can ask JMO. I had this argument with JMO while Jimmy Butler. Before Jimmy Butler came to Miami, and I'm not talking about like the summer before he went. So I am not that. That's why I keep saying y'all keep saying y'all like the mass, but I'm not the masses.
Okay, can I ask this question? Y'all, I know we've been a long time. I want to ask a question. Why do y'all think Jimmy before? Because I didn't get a clear answer for real. What has Jimmy done? I know you're gonna bring up all defense, all that stuff. He wasn't really making all NBAs while doing all defense. He was doing that all defense stuff before he was getting all NBAs. That was early in his career. Go ahead and do your research. All right. So he got all NBA in 2016, 17, and 17, 18. And he got his all defense before that. So what has Jimmy Butler done to put him a tier? We talking about tier, y'all. Y'all know the tiers are like,
yes.
Like we talk about tiers all the time. Don't mean you better or worse. Like y'all in the same tier. So what did he do pre-Miami that Randle is not doing right now.
Okay,
Like Jimmy Butler, hold on. Jimmy Butler has never led his team to a home court advantage. Never. Before Miami. That's why I'm confused. Like, y'all talking about regular season. He haven't done nothing in the playoffs either. He went to the playoffs, got bounced, average 22. And the second time in the playoffs, he averaged 15 points a game in Minnesota. That's it. And got bounced 4-1. So my thing is, what has he done pre-Miami to say that he's a whole tier above Julius Randle?
So I didn't bring up the playoffs because you said that you know what I'm saying, without the playoff success.
That's
so I didn't want to bring it up. But we all know Randle, with that great season, looked absolutely horrendous in the playoffs.
I said that.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I try not to bring it up because one, you acknowledge that, but two, you said pre-playoff success. So I try to stick regular season only. And again, like you said, the all defensive teams. Then with the all defensive teams, his scoring increased. He was top 15 in scoring when he won third all NBA third team. He was top 15 in scoring, or 17, one of them two in that range. I was trying to look it up, but the show actually was moving faster than I thought it would be. But I know he was in that range of scoring, and I named guys that he had more. He was averaging more than that we can consider scores. So he was scoring the ball. Mm-hmm. And again, with those handicaps, he was able to average those points. So, you know, threes are greater than twos. Randle's highest average isn't as good. I mean, it is good. My bad. Isn't well ahead of Jimmy's while being able to shoot the three ball way better than Jimmy. And again, he was the leader on those teams. Yes, Randle was the leader in the regular season, but again, he has drops. I don't like those 4 or 5 point drops in between season. He has yet to have a season where he averaged 24 and then averaged 24 again. Even if he averages 23 again, I will still say it's consistent. But it's dropped. It's dropped 4 points. It's dropped 5 points. There's no consistency with that. The rebounds are consistent, but he's 6'10". I would hope they're consistent.
Carl, you know that's my question. I said what I said
what
I
did. Those are the things.
You keep bringing up consistency. I said, what about Randle right now? Why is Jimmy Butler? You brought up the fact that he's a leader. Okay, he's a leader. We got that check.
Defender.
So is Draymond. But you gonna put Draymond over Cat? Because Cat is not a leader for real, but Draymond is. You gonna want a Cat? No, you're not. When it comes to tiers, we don't care about leadership unless it's like a tiebreaker or something like that. You want to bring up tangibles, but we talking about who's on the same tier. So
okay, Draymond has never averaged 20 to 25 points in his league.
And Jimmy Butler has never averaged 25 and 10 ever in his whole career.
Yeah, but Jimmy Butler is not 6'10". He's not a 6'10" power forward. He's what, 6'6"?
Cat's 7 foot.
Exactly. That's my point. You compared a center to another power forward / center. We comparing a power forward to a small forward.
Okay, how about this? And you keep bringing out he averaged 22 points a game. He played like 40 minutes a game. Did y'all mention that? With the same coach that Julius Randle have.
Okay.
Who didn't feature him as a scorer. But when Julius Randle got time to Thibodeau this first year, because that first year he was there, I don't think Thibodeau was there. Was he? I don't think he was there.
No, I think it was. I want to say Mike Wilson,
first
but
year
I
with
want
that
to say
same coach, 24 points a game. 24 and 10.
No, his first year?
First year with Thibodeau.
Oh, with Thibodeau.
Yeah. So my whole thing is, you keep bringing up he a great scorer, 22 points. Bro, he played like, that's why I say Luol Deng. He playing Luol Deng minutes, averaging Luol Deng numbers, 20 points a game. Like, literally. And Luol Deng was a great defender, too. So, he was leading league in minutes every single year. My whole thing is, Jimmy Butler was the best player before Miami twice his whole career. When Julius Randle, soon he went to the Knicks, he automatically became the best player, and they were home court advantage, something that Jimmy has never done. Never done until he got to Miami. So, what has he done?
But Joe, we lack context. His first year, right? His first year, he didn't do it. His second year, they got D-Rose, so I think it was a 6-man a year. If not, he was in that running, right? Alec Burks averaged 11, 12 points that season. And RJ Barrett averaged 18, so it's not like he did it by himself on his lonely and had nobody with him. He had help.
Everybody gets help, Carl.
So Jimmy Butler didn't have
help.
No,
but y'all not making it seem like that. Y'all make it seem like Julius Randle was just out there solo dolo putting the Knicks on his back.
Bro, I'm asking you, what did Jimmy do? That's how tier higher. You're not answering that question. You somebody's leadership.
You don't like my answer, but I answered it.
Dave, what's the reason why he tier higher? What did he do prior to make him a tier higher than Julius Randle? Right now, Julius Randle right now.
My answer is no different from what Carl said.
And if we want to talk about Philly,
It was the same thing I was saying
he was the
before.
missing piece in
It
Philly.
was it's almost
Philly
the same
lost because of
exactly
that
the
Kawhi
same
shot, but he was really that missing piece. And I bet if Philly could go back, they would keep Jimmy Butler because they regret it.
You making my point. He is a better 2 than a 1. He is great with another superstar beside him. I give him that. He's a solid player. I
Yep.
love Jimmy Butler. He is not a guy that I can see being a guy that can be a superstar. I see that more in Randle than Jimmy Butler. Even now, Jimmy Butler now, he stepped it up a lot more, but I still see Randle more as a guy that can be a superstar. Because even what you call it, the Jimmy Butler's playoff success. One year was the bubble. You heard a lot of players talking about how it's like open gym out there. Really, the fans ain't out there. Really, it's not no pressure out there for real. So I'm not gonna say scratch that, but scratch that. Then last year
Wow.
they played against the Sixers. However, Embiid was hurt.
So we scratching the Lakers championship too.
I scratched that too. I'm not saying scratch it like it's off. Scratch it like it's shaky. You hear me? Like it's
You
one
also
thing.
had players saying it was harder to play because they
Exactly.
had injuries and stuff like that too.
Exactly.
So
Players were saying it was harder to play in the bubble now too. So are we
People
saying it's
saying
harder
that.
now, or it's
See,
like
people were
which one we're
saying it was harder to play as far as being away from your family. They were
Yes.
saying stuff like that. Not on
Yes.
the court. On the court,
Exactly.
they were saying it's like open jump. So
Exactly.
don't give me that.
I didn't hear that, but
So
okay.
I heard that.
No, I heard it too.
mean,
I'm not
TJ
gonna lie. I
Warren
heard both
averaging
ends of the
40.
spectrum.
It was guys out there dropping buckets that normally don't do that in the regular game. So then they play against Embiid hurt. I'm not trying to fault them. However, it's like look at it. Even when the Lakers played out in the bubble, I was telling people the Lakers got lucky because Bam and Dragic was hurt and they didn't get the playoffs. So I keep it real. Like it is what it is. Like the bubble was, like I said, a lot of players saying it was like open jump. You know, y'all made the most of it, made it to the finals, but you know, however, I'm just saying Jimmy Butler didn't do nothing. Like people talk about Giannis run and they say the same things. AD got hurt. The Warriors and things like that. Like they talk about all that stuff. It's that every year. So Jimmy Butler never really did nothing in the playoffs tremendous, really, if you ask me.
Nah, I'm gonna give Jimmy Butler his credit for what he did in the bubble. You know,
injuries happen. I mean,
I'm
part
gonna
of the game.
give him his credit. I'm not gonna take away from him, but I do agree that TJ Warren was dropping 50 balls. He was scoring 50 a game, something like that. I mean, you had Tyler Hero looking comfortable as a mother. Chris Nunn was looking comfortable. It was easy to play in that environment because there was no Hectors there, it was nothing like that. But I'm not gonna take nothing away from Jimmy Butler though. I just want to know. All right. So David, you're saying that Jimmy Butler is a higher tier because of leadership, and what else again? Consistency.
What else? Nah, that was me.
Leadership, defense, and consistency. Yes.
Defense. So how is he a higher tier than Julius Randle, but he's never made higher than the 13 All NBA? And Julius Randle did that already. How is he higher tier? And on top of that, he never led his team to the second round, to the home court advantage in the playoffs. He never had better numbers than Julius Randle. So how are we saying because his intangibles?
Except in the playoffs.
But what intangibles did he really have before Miami? You keep saying the missing piece. What did Philly do the year before? They second round exits every year.
If you want to talk about injuries, Embiid, that was the year with all the tummy aches.
I'm not talking about forget injuries, but you say he's a missing piece just to lose in the second round again?
That was the year with the tummy aches.
That's what Philly. You're right though, but that's what Philly does. My thing is Jimmy Butler hasn't done nothing expeditionally to say that, like Bradley Beal, right? Once upon a time, led the league in scoring. You hit me with Jimmy Butler led the league in scoring. I'll give you that. Man, Jimmy Butler's first team All NBA. I'll give you that. Jimmy Butler, man, led his team to the number 1 seed. I'll give you that. But you got nothing to offer me, but he made all defense, which Ben Simmons made. What's the other cuz from Philly? What's my boy name with the Bush that went to
Matisse Thybulle.
Matisse Thybulle made all defense. I mean,
he didn't make all defense, and you know what I'm saying.
But all defense doesn't separate you, like unless you're a first team All NBA, something like that. Like Giannis was first team All NBA, first team All Defense. I give you that, but he's still in the same tier as KD. KD ain't no first team All Defense. He first team All NBA though. Don't push him in a different tier. You can argue who's better. But they're on the same tier. And Javon, you got a case that you can say Julius Randle is better because he's done more for real. He really done
Exactly.
more. He done more. So
Hey, having a double. Like,
as soon as he started playing 4-time minutes, he was the man, and he did well. So he played 4-time minutes. Jimmy Butler been playing 4-time minutes since this is like his 3rd year in the league. So
actually had
I don't know. Y'all
accolades
not
too,
give me no
man.
definite answer. Y'all saying leadership, intangible. I mean, Dame better leader than Kyrie, but they're the same tier.
Same
For real,
tier.
you would say, right?
Well, you also
None
argue
of
with a
that
guy
stuff
that thinks
matters
Dame is
when you talk
better than
about
Curry,
tiers.
but
He
None of
might
that
be
stuff
better,
matters.
but they're the same tier. Go ahead, Jamal.
Like accolades and all that, unless you got something tremendous, like Joe said, it doesn't matter really. Like he said, Kyrie has no first team. Only thing he really got, I believe, is that one title with Bron, and then he has Rookie of the Year, I believe. Other than that, he has nothing really. Westbrook got way more accolades than him, but people gonna put Kyrie on a high tier right now. So all the accolades and stuff, like it
yeah, but
matters.
y'all
But
looking at whole careers. We're not looking at Jimmy's whole career. We're not because we can't go to Miami.
Before Miami, y'all brought up what he did before Miami. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
before.
Exactly. I'm talking about that. Like, then you get a third team before Miami, and
He got 2 of them, but
that's what I'm
he has
saying.
4 in total.
That's what we talking about before Miami. I'm hit, and I'm saying like,
What third
you know,
teams?
It's still all NBA, Joe.
But Randall did second. We
Once
talking about
in his career,
okay.
but that's
SGA
better than
never made All
third.
NBA.
but not better than
SGA made
4
All
thirds,
NBA.
bro.
But you gonna put
It's like
SGA
this.
above both
I'm
of them?
gonna put
That's
it
a
in giant
fact, though.
perspective. What'd you say, Joe?
SGA has never made All NBA. But you
But
gonna put him
SGA been
above
hurt.
Randall, right?
He always get hurt too, though.
Bro, stop it, dog.
SGA don't be hurt.
Is that the reason why he's not All NBA?
He don't finish seasons. You can't put a guy All NBA if he don't finish the
You
season. You
talking
see
about
what he
this
did when he
year?
get a full season.
But Carl, even before this year, was he All NBA? No.
No,
Even if
he
he
don't
played a
finish
full season, we have
season
come All NBA. No, you would not have. This year, he's having a breakout year. He's averaging over
because
30
he's
a
finished.
game.
He's playing the whole season. Is my point. He's not
But
missing
even
that many
Carl,
games.
with the length he played, take the numbers that he had when he played. He's not All NBA. That's what I'm saying. But you take on this year, he's making the leap. So you're gonna put him All NBA. So my thing is, you keep collecting awards. I'm not talking about who have a better career. Randall today versus Jimmy Butler before he left to go to Miami. Same tier.
All
Same
right.
tier.
If we keep it there, then my premise is he has to consistently show me. I'm not going to overreact to what he's doing this year.
He's done it before, though.
He done it
It's not his
before,
first time
Carl.
doing this, Carl. He got second team doing this
Bruh,
already.
Again, his numbers jump. If we just going to stick to today, yes, he's
numbers
having a great
jump.
year. I will not argue that. He's having a great year.
Can I
But I
repeat
need
that
to
real
see
quick?
him do this again the next year, not the year after next, the very next year.
See, I feel like your numbers jump like that more when you are the main guy. Jimmy Butler is more of a system guy that really isn't going to take over a game and things like that. They need Julius Randle to do that consistently, right? That's what I'm saying, consistently. So I feel like his numbers jump because of that. However, his highest years are better than Jimmy's highest years. His whole career, you go his whole career. His highest 2 years are better. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about tiers.
But even team success is higher than Jimmy Butler's before Miami. That's what I'm saying. Individually, team success. So why is he a higher tier?
Accolades, and he a leader.
But accolades you're talking about is all defense. We're led to an 8th seed in the first round.
Like I said, you got All Stars. You got the All NBA.
Now we're talking All Stars.
Kyle
Kuzma made the All Star game.
I think 4 before. He got 4 of them before Miami.
Kyle Korver made the All Star game. I think Paul Millsap made one.
Come on, but that's one compared to 6 in total, 4 straight in Chicago.
Come
on, my bad, 3 straight and 1 in Minnesota.
All right, I think we're talking in circles now.
With the least, all the stars in the West.
Yeah, Kyle Korver is what you call an outlier.
All right, hey, that was on point. All right, I just said, all right, let's move on, y'all. We're just talking in circles right now. We're gonna let the people decide. Hey, if you watching this, hopefully you stand to the end. Put in the comment section who y'all think is right. All right, were they on the same tier or not? We talking about Randall today versus Butler pre-Miami. Same tier or not? And who's on a higher tier if not? Because some of y'all might say Randall, like Jamal said.
Hey, man.
All right.
If you watch him, you know. Because I heard somebody say, if you watch Jimmy Butler and you watch Randall, you can clearly see that Butler is better. And that is the most blasphemous thing I ever heard in my life.
I disagree. We just got to disagree.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hold on. Last question, Carl. Do you like Julius Randle?
Gambling reasons, no, but I don't think he's a bad player. I just,
No,
talk
like
trash about him
him.
for gambling.
Do you root for him or you root against him?
I want bro to do good. He just screwed me over gambling.
Oh, okay. Because when he dropped 50 and 3/4, you sound a little
Devin, though.
upset.
Because he
Look, Joe.
kills me doing gambling. I hate to
Oh, okay,
bet
I was
on
making
bro.
sure. All right.
Devin, know.
Devin said Julius Randle. Oh, snap. I was surprised to see that.
He know.
All right. My man Derek came on the show one time and say, whenever you got Julius Randle, your best player, you ain't going nowhere.
But then like
But he called him a higher tier. Wow, that's crazy.
Whenever you got Jimmy
Let's go to the
Butler,
next
you're not
segment,
as the
please.
best player. You're not going nowhere. You're not winning no ring. That's what he mean. You're not winning no ring.
Yeah, don't
Just
rings.
like
That's
y'all.
what he meant. Rings. That's what he meant. Yeah.
you're not even gonna get a good playoff performance right now. You won't be Julius Randle, your best player.
All right. Let's.
We gonna see this year.
But we talking about before Miami, though. That's talking about. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button, no matter what you're listening to or watching it. Hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.